I met him at a coffee shop. A small one. The kind with old wooden chairs and slow music. His name was Mark. He smiled at me. A big smile. And I thought, oh, he is nice. He came to my table. He said, "You have beautiful eyes." Simple, right? Many men say that. But the way he said it, it was like he was hungry. Not for food. For me. We talked for 1 hour. He asked me many questions. Where do you live? What is your favorite song? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you like mornings or nights? I thought he was interested. I thought, wow, he really wants to know me. That is what love looks like in the beginning. Curiosity, attention, sweet words. But here is the lesson. Love asks questions and then listens. Obsession asks questions to build a map of your soul so it can find you later. The first week was beautiful. He sent me a good morning text every day. Good morning, Daisy. I hope you sleep well. Then 2 texts. Then 5. Then he called me on my lunch break. I was at work. I told him, I cannot talk now. He said, okay, no problem. But then he called again after 5 minutes. And again. And again. When I finally picked up, he said, I just missed your voice. Is that a crime? I laughed. I was stupid. I thought it was cute. But listen to me. Listen carefully. When someone cannot wait 5 minutes for you, that is not love. That is a fire inside them. And fire burns. Let me give you a very simple example. One day, I went to see my friend Sarah. I told Mark I will be with Sarah from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will call you after. He said, okay, have fun. At 7 p.m., my phone rang. It was Mark. I did not answer. I was with my friend. At 7:15, another call. At 7:30, a text, are you okay? At 7:45, another text, Daisy, please answer. I am worried. At 8 p.m., 10 missed calls. 10. In 1 hour. I called him back. I said, Mark, I told you I am with Sarah. He said, I know. But my heart started beating fast. I thought something bad happened to you. I love you, Daisy. I cannot lose you. And again. I felt bad for him. I thought, oh, he loves me so much. He is scared to lose me. No, my dear learner. That is not love. That is control wearing a mask of worry. Here is a simple rule. Write it in your mind. Love trusts you. Obsession watches you. When someone loves you, they say, have fun with your friend. Call me when you are free. When someone is obsessed, they say, I was so scared. You did not answer. You made me feel this way. Did you see the difference? In love, your freedom is important. In obsession, your freedom is a problem. Because they want all of you. All your time. All your attention. All your breath. And that is not romantic. That is a cage. After 2 weeks, Mark started giving me gifts. Big gifts. A necklace. A new phone. A weekend trip to a hotel by the beach. I said, Mark, this is too much. We just met. He said, but I love you. I want to give you everything. And here is the tricky part. It feels good to receive gifts. It feels special. But listen to me. When someone gives you too much too fast, they are not giving. They are buying. They are buying your time, your guilt, and your loyalty. One night, he gave me a key to his apartment. I said, Mark, we have been dating for 3 weeks. This is too fast. He got quiet. His face changed. For 1 second, I saw something cold in his eyes. But then he smiled again. He said, you are right. I am just excited. I am sorry. But I felt it. That cold thing. And I ignored it. Do not ignore the cold thing. Your body knows. Your stomach knows. When you feel something is wrong, it is wrong. Slowly, very slowly, Mark started to take me away from my people. First, he said, Sarah is a bad influence. She always wants to go to bars. That is not good for you. Then he said, your mother calls you too much. You are an adult. You do not need to tell her everything. Then he said, why do you still talk to your ex-boyfriend on Facebook? Delete him. For us. And because I wanted to make him happy, I did it. I called Sarah less. I stopped telling my mother everything. I deleted my ex. I thought, this is what love does. Love changes you. Love makes you better. No, no, no. Love helps you grow. Obsession cuts your roots. A healthy love says, I love your friends. They make you happy. An obsession says, it is me or them. One day, Sarah called me. She said, Daisy, I never see you anymore. I told her, Mark needs me. He gets sad when I am away. Sarah said, that is not love, Daisy. That is a leash. I got angry at Sarah. I stopped talking to her for 2 weeks. I chose Mark. And that was my biggest mistake. The first time Mark got really angry was because of a waiter. We went to a restaurant. The waiter was a young man. He smiled at me and said, enjoy your meal. A normal smile. A work smile. Mark did not eat. He just stared at the waiter. Then he looked at me. He said, why did he smile at you like that? I said, what? He is just doing his job. Mark said, no. He wanted you. I saw it. I laughed. I should not have laughed. He grabbed my wrist under the table. Not hard enough to hurt, but hard enough to feel. He said, do not laugh at me, Daisy. Then he let go. He smiled again. He said, I am sorry. I am just a jealous guy. It means I care. I rubbed my wrist. It did not hurt, but something inside me hurt. A small voice said, run. But I did not run, because I kept telling myself, he loves me. He is just passionate. Learner, please hear me. Passion is not pain. Love is not fear. If someone makes you afraid, even for 1 second, that is not your soulmate. That is your warning. After 1 month, Mark started checking my phone. At first, he asked, can I see your phone? I said yes because I had nothing to hide. Then he stopped asking. He just took it. One morning, I was in the shower. I came out. He was sitting on the bed, holding my phone. He had read all my messages, even the ones with my mother. I said, Mark, that is private. He said, we are in love. There is no private. You are mine. You are mine. Those 3 words. They sound romantic in movies. In real life, they're a red flag the size of a house. Love says, you are yours. I am yours. We choose each other every day. Obsession says, you are mine. Like a phone. Like a car. Like a thing I own. I started to feel tired. Very tired. I stopped laughing with my old friends. I stopped singing in the car. I stopped wearing the clothes I liked because Mark said, that shirt is too open. People will look at you. I wore big sweaters. I stopped wearing makeup. I became small. I became quiet. I became a shadow of Daisy. And Mark loved it. He said, you are perfect now. So soft. So sweet. He did not love me. He loved the empty version of me. Because empty people do not leave. Empty people do not say no. The breaking point came on a Saturday. My cousin, Emma, was having a birthday party. I told Mark I wanted to go alone. Just for 2 hours. He said, why alone? I want to come. I said, because I miss my family. I want to talk to them without worrying about you. That was honest. That was brave of me. And Mark did not like it. He said, fine. Go. But if you talk to any man, even your cousin's husband, I will be very upset. I went to the party. I wore a dress. A simple blue dress. I felt pretty for the first time in weeks. I hugged my cousin. I laughed with my aunt. I talked to Emma's husband about his new job. Normal things. Human things. When I came home at 10 p.m., Mark was sitting in the dark. No lights. No TV. Just him in a chair. He said, you wore that dress. I said, yes. It is a dress. He said, you talked to Emma's husband for 20 minutes. I said, how do you know that? He said, I was outside. In my car. I watched you through the window. My heart stopped. I felt cold. Then hot. Then cold again. He watched me. For 2 hours. In the dark. In his car. That is not love. That is a hunter watching his prey. I said, Mark, that is not normal. He stood up. He came close to me. He said, nothing about me is normal, Daisy. That is why you love me. Because I am the only one who will ever want you this much. And in that moment, I understood. He did not love me. He was obsessed. There is a big difference. Love wants you to be happy. Obsession wants you to be trapped. Love grows in the light. Obsession grows in the dark, in the car, in the phone, in the control. I did not sleep that night. I lay in bed next to him. He was snoring, peaceful, and I was shaking. I thought, if I stay, I will disappear. There will be no Daisy left, only his shadow. The next morning, I woke up before him. I went to the bathroom. I closed the door. I sat on the floor, and I made a plan. Because leaving an obsessed person is not like leaving a normal person. You cannot just say, it is over. If you say that to an obsessed person, they do not hear, goodbye. They hear, try harder. Or worse, they hear, hurt her. I called Sarah. Not from my phone. From a friend's phone. I went to a store and used a payphone. Do you remember payphones? Old machines on the street. I put coins inside. I called Sarah. I whispered, Sarah, you were right. I need help. But Mark cannot know. Sarah said, I am coming. Where are you? I said, no. Do not come. He watches me. If he sees you, he will get angry. I need you to help me from far away. Here is what I learned. When you leave an obsession, you do not break up face to face. You break up from a safe place. Movies tell you to look someone in the eyes and say goodbye. That is good for normal breakups. But for obsession, that is dangerous. Because obsessed people do not let go. They hold tighter. I made a list. A simple list. 1. Find a new place to stay. Sarah's cousin had a small apartment. Empty. She said I could use it for 1 month. 2. Move my things slowly. Not all at once. Just one bag every few days. Things Mark would not notice. Old shoes. Winter coats. Books. Things he did not care about. 3. Change my phone number. I bought a cheap phone. A prepaid phone. No contract. No way to track. 4. Tell my work. I told my boss I have a dangerous ex. Please do not give him any information. My boss was a good woman. She understood. The last week with Mark, I had to act. I had to smile. I had to say, I love you. I had to let him hold my hand. I had to pretend everything was fine. And that was the hardest part. Because every time he touched me, my skin wanted to run away. But I smiled. I learned that sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is pretend to be okay while you are secretly escaping. One night, he said, you are so quiet lately. Are you sick? I said, no, just tired. Work is hard. He said, do you still love me? I looked at him. His eyes were hungry again. I said, yes, I love you. And I hated myself for saying it. But I said it to stay alive, to stay safe, to buy time. Learner, if you are in a situation like this, do not feel bad for lying. Sometimes, lying to an obsessed person is not wrong. It is survival. You have the right to protect your own heart. You have the right to leave without giving a speech. On a Thursday morning, Mark went to work at 8 a.m. I waited 30 minutes to make sure he was not coming back. Then I moved. Fast. I had already moved 3 small bags to Sarah's cousin's apartment. But this day, I took the big things. My grandmother's ring, my laptop, my favorite pillow, the photo of me and my father. I left everything else. Clothes, shoes, makeup. I left it all. Because things can be replaced. Your soul cannot. I wrote a note. A short note. I did not explain. I did not say, I am sorry. I wrote, Mark, this is over. Do not look for me. Do not call me. I am safe. Goodbye, Daisy. I put the note on the kitchen table. I took my cheap phone. I walked out the door. I did not look back. I walked 6 blocks to the bus station. I took a bus to the other side of the city. I went to the small apartment. I locked the door. I sat on the floor. And I cried. Not sad tears. Not happy tears. Just release tears. The kind of tears that come after you hold your breath for too long and finally breathe. I thought it was over. I thought the note was enough. It was not. Because obsessed people do not read notes. They read challenges. 2 hours after I left, my old phone, which I left behind, started ringing. He called 40 times. Then he sent texts. Where are you? Come back. I will change. You cannot do this to me. I love you. I hate you. Come back. Please. I will kill myself if you do not come back. That last one is very common. Very common. Obsessed people say, I will hurt myself if you leave. Listen to me carefully. That is not love. That is a rope. They are throwing a rope around your neck and saying, if you walk away, I will pull. But here is the truth. You are not responsible for another adult's choices. If someone says they will hurt themselves because you left, you call the police. You do not go back. Going back teaches them that threats work. I did not go back. I turned off my old phone. I threw it in a river. Yes, a river. I watched it sink. And I felt free. But Mark did not stop. He found my mother's phone number. He called her. He said, Daisy is sick. She needs help. Tell me where she is. My mother, God bless her, said, do not call me again. Then he found my work. He came to the front door. My boss called the police. The police told him to leave. He left. But he came back the next day. And the next day. And the next day. I went to the police station. I was scared. I thought they would laugh at me. I thought they would say, he just loves you. Go home. But they did not. The policewoman was kind. She said, how many times has he called you in one day? I said, 50. She said, that is not love. That is harassment. She helped me get a restraining order. A piece of paper that says, stay away. If you come close, you go to jail. Mark broke the restraining order 3 times. The 3rd time, he was arrested. He spent 1 night in jail. And finally, he stopped. He moved to another city. I heard he found a new woman. And I felt sad for her. But I also felt relief. Because he was not my problem anymore. After Mark was gone, I did not date anyone for 1 year. 1 full year. I needed to remember who Daisy was. Because I had forgotten. I started doing small things. I wore a red dress. I went to coffee with Sarah. I called my mother every day. I sang in the car again. Loud. Bad singing. Off key. And I laughed. Healing is not a straight line. Some days I was happy. Some days I cried for no reason. Some days I missed him. Yes, I missed him. Is that crazy? Maybe. But the heart is strange. Even bad love leaves a hole. But I learned to sit with the hole. I did not try to fill it with a new man. I filled it with me. I started writing in a notebook. I wrote, I am allowed to say no. I am allowed to have friends. I am allowed to wear what I want. I am allowed to be alone. I am allowed to be happy. I read those words every morning. And slowly, I started to believe them. Let me make this very clear for your English learning. Here is the difference. Simple words. Love says, I trust you. Obsession says, I need to check your phone. Love says, go see your friends. Have fun. Obsession says, why do you need them? You have me. Love says, you can say no to me. Obsession says, if you say no, you hurt me. Love makes you feel big. Obsession makes you feel small. Love grows slowly, like a tree. Obsession explodes fast, like a firework. And fireworks always burn out. Love asks, what do you need? Obsession says, you need me. Memorize this. Put it on your wall. Because one day, maybe someone will come to you with big gifts and many calls and hungry eyes. And you will remember Daisy's story. And you will know the difference. 1 year after Mark, I met someone new. His name is Tom. And Tom is boring. I mean that as a compliment. Tom is boring in the best way. He calls me once a day, not 50 times. He says, I am going to bed now. Talk to you tomorrow. And then he goes to bed. He does not call back. He does not text. He just sleeps. And I love that, because boring means safe. Tom asked me once, can I see your phone? I said, no. He said, okay. And that was it. He did not get angry. He did not cry. He said, okay. I almost cried. Because for the first time, someone respected my no. That is what healthy love feels like. It feels like a door that opens from both sides, not a cage. Tom does not give me big gifts. He gives me small things. A cup of tea when I am cold. A funny video when I am sad. He holds my hand in public, but he does not squeeze it hard. He lets go when I need to wave at a friend. He is not jealous. He is not scared. He is just there. And that is enough. More than enough. Why did I tell you this story? To help you learn English? Yes, but also to help you learn life. Because words are just words, but feelings are feelings. And when you learn English through feelings, you never forget. I want you to remember one word from this story. That word is enough. You are enough. You do not need someone to obsess over you to prove your value. You do not need 50 calls a day. You do not need someone who cannot sleep without you. That is not romance. That is a warning. Real love is quiet. Real love is boring sometimes. Real love lets you breathe. Real love says, I will be here when you come back. It does not lock the door. It leaves the door open. Because real love is not scared of losing you. Real love knows that if you leave, it will hurt. But real love also knows that holding someone against their will is not love. It is a prison. Let me end with a conversation. Just me. Just Daisy. Talking to you. Hello. Yes, you. The one watching this video. I want to ask you something. Are you in a relationship right now? And does that relationship make you feel big or small? Be honest. No one is listening. Just you and me. Do you feel scared to say no? Do you feel tired? Do you feel like you are walking on eggshells? Do you feel like you have to explain where you go, who you see, what you wear? If you answered yes to any of these, my dear, that is not love. That is obsession. And you deserve better. I know leaving is hard. I know you might love them. I know they might cry. I know they might say they will change. But listen to me. Change takes years. And you do not have to wait. You are not their teacher. You are not their mother. You are not their doctor. You are a person. And you have one life. One short, beautiful life. Do not spend it being watched. Spend it being free. So here is your homework. Not for school. For your soul. Look in the mirror today. Say these words. I am allowed to leave. I am allowed to be safe. I am allowed to be happy. Say it until you believe it. And then, take one small step. One tiny step. Call one friend. Pack one bag. Write one note. You do not need to run today. Just walk. One step. I did it. And you can do it too. Thank you for learning English with me. Thank you for listening to my broken heart. I am Daisy. And I am not broken anymore. I am healing. And so are you. Now, let me help you with some simple words from this story. Write them down. Obsession. When you cannot stop thinking about one thing or one person. It is not healthy. To isolate. To separate someone from their friends and family. A restraining order. A legal paper that says someone must stay away from you. To heal. To become healthy again after pain. A red flag. A sign that something is wrong. And a few sentences to practice. Love trusts. Obsession checks. Love grows slow. Obsession burns fast. You are not a thing to be owned. You are a person to be loved. Mark sent me a message last year. From a new number. He said, Daisy, I still think about you every day. I have changed. Please give me one more chance. I looked at the message for a long time. My heart beat fast. Old fear came back. Old guilt came back. But then I took a breath. I deleted the message. I blocked the number. And I went to the kitchen. Tom was making tea. He looked at me. He said, everything okay? I said, yes. Everything is perfect. And it was. Not because my life was perfect, but because I was free. And freedom is the most perfect thing in the world. So, my dear learner, go. Learn English. But more than that, learn to love yourself first. Because when you love yourself, you will never accept obsession again. You will walk away. You will choose peace. You will choose boring. You will choose safe. And that is not weak. That is the strongest thing a person can do. This is Daisy. Thank you for listening. Take care of your heart. It is the only one you have.